Welcome to Zarpado. Want to learn 2 hours of fun facts you didn't know? If you love learning weird stuff you can drop at any party, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Let's go. In 19th century Japan, deep in the Hakone region, craftsmen invented the Himitsu Bako secret puzzle boxes that can only be opened by moving their panels in a precise sequence. Some require over 100 moves just to reveal what's hidden inside. Collectors around the world still hunt for them today, drawn by the perfect mix of craftsmanship and mystery. There's a bridge in Scotland that drives dogs crazy. The Overtoun Bridge, built in 1895, has become infamous for the number of dogs that have leaped off its edge. Scientists think the scent of small animals in the ravine below triggers their instincts, but no one has fully explained it. The mystery remains open. Sidney Lewis was the youngest soldier in World War I. He ran away from home and enlisted at 12 years old. By 13, he was already fighting in the Battle of the Somme in France. 6 weeks in, someone finally checked his age and sent him home. The Tough Guy Challenge is a 9.5-mile race with dozens of extreme obstacles: burning coals, claustrophobic tunnels, lakes laced with electrified wire. About 50% of participants quit before the finish line. It doesn't ask if you're ready, it just finds out. Airline pilots follow a rule most passengers never hear about. They're never allowed to eat the same meal as each other. If one pilot gets food poisoning, the other still has to land the plane. Special trays, privacy curtains, separate menus, because at 30,000 feet, the smallest detail can matter more than anything. In Talkeetna, Alaska, a cat named Stubbs served as honorary mayor for 20 years. Residents adopted him as a symbol of community and calm. His impact was real, and he proved that leadership doesn't always have to come in human form to actually mean something. In 1929, 7-Up contained lithium citrate, a mood-stabilizing compound used in medicine at the time. It was sold as a feel-good tonic, and its name was a nod to that promised effect. Decades later, lithium was quietly removed from the formula. Most people have no idea they were once buying a soda with near-pharmaceutical properties. According to a legend passed down from the Greek historian Herodotus, the Amazon River dolphin doesn't look like any dolphin you've seen before. It's pink, vibrantly, unmistakably pink, and the color intensifies when it gets excited or active. Its flexible body and long snout let it navigate tight spaces between flooded trees and narrow river channels with surprising agility. It's one of the Amazon's most iconic creatures and one of its most vulnerable. Norway's Halden prison is considered the most humane in the world. Every cell has a private bathroom, a television, a desk, and a real window. Inmates can play sports, take classes, and record music. Guards carry no weapons and act as mentors, not enforcers. The philosophy is rehabilitation over punishment, and it works. Norway has the lowest reincarceration rates in all of Europe. Babies are born with 270 bones. Adults only have 206. Dozens fuse together as you grow, creating a stronger, more efficient skeleton. It happens slowly, silently, without you feeling a thing, and by the time it's done, your entire internal architecture has been completely rebuilt. 2 tourists were arrested in Rome for carving their initials into the Colosseum. They ignored the warning signs. They violated Italian cultural heritage law, and the resulting global outrage made one thing crystal clear: some monuments are too important for anyone to treat as a souvenir. The Sifaka lemur of Madagascar has one of the most entertaining walks in the animal kingdom. Its legs are built for climbing, not walking so on flat ground. It hops sideways in a move that looks exactly like dancing. In the trees, it's lightning fast. On land, it's gone viral. Scientists and tourists alike can't stop watching. Queen Elizabeth II owned every unmarked mute swan in open waters across the United Kingdom, a tradition dating back to the 11th century, when swans were a delicacy reserved for royalty. They're no longer eaten, but the custom lives on. Every year, the swan-upping ceremony takes place on the River Thames. A formal count, a royal tradition, and a conservation effort all rolled into one. Pachisi, the ancient Indian game, got a royal upgrade in the 16th century when Emperor Akbar of the Mughal dynasty turned his entire courtyard into a life-size board. Real people were the pieces. He directed every move from his throne. Centuries later, it was scaled down to the colorful board game millions of families play today, with no idea about its imperial origins. Brazilian goalkeeper Rogério Ceni scored 131 goals in his career. That's not a typo. While defending his net, he also stepped up for free kicks and penalties with the precision of a striker. He spent nearly his entire career at Sao Paulo FC and became an absolute legend. A goalkeeper and a goal scorer proof that football's limits are as wide as the imagination of whoever's playing it. Back to the Future, fans built a fully functional remote-controlled DeLorean using a 3D printer. Every detail was replicated with impressive accuracy, and it even simulates the time travel sequence from the film. It's proof that today's technology can turn childhood dreams into reality, one plastic layer at a time. The first computer mouse was built in 1964 by Douglas Engelbart. It was a wooden box with two metal wheels on the bottom, no buttons, no ergonomic shape, no scroll wheel. Its only job was to move a cursor across a screen. That was enough. It laid the foundation for every human-computer interaction that followed and changed the world in ways its creator never fully imagined. The Airbus Beluga XL looks like someone crossed a cargo plane with a beluga whale, and that's exactly where it gets its name. It can carry up to 51 tons inside its enormous bulging fuselage and was built specifically to transport massive aircraft components between Airbus factories across Europe. It's essential to the aerospace industry, and everywhere it lands, people stop to take pictures. The marabou stork has a strange, fleshy pouch hanging from its chest. It's not just for show, it helps regulate body temperature and plays a role in communication with other storks. The bird looks bizarre, but it's a critical part of its ecosystem, helping control insect and rodent populations in ways most people never give it credit for. The binturong of Southeast Asia moves like a bear, grips branches like a primate with its prehensile tail, and smells exactly like freshly popped popcorn. That scent comes from a chemical compound it uses to mark territory. It often gets mistaken for a giant raccoon. It's a reminder that evolution in tropical forests doesn't follow any rulebook. In Bern, Switzerland, there's a fountain carved in 1546, depicting an ogre eating a small child. It's called the Kindlefresserbrunnen, the child-eater fountain. Historians still argue over what it means. Religious symbol, political warning, parental scare tactic. Centuries later, no one agrees. It's one of those things you don't expect to find in a quiet European city, and once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. The Bayeux Tapestry isn't actually a tapestry. It's an embroidery hand-stitched in the 11th century and stretching more than 230 feet long. It tells the story of the Norman conquest of England in the year 1066, using colored thread on white linen. It was never woven on a loom, and it remains one of the most remarkable historical documents in all of medieval Europe. Thailand's Erawan Falls are sticky. The limestone bedrock constantly deposits calcium carbonate onto the surface, creating a rough, grippy texture that acts almost like natural traction. Visitors walk through the flowing water without slipping. Their feet literally stick to the rock. It's one of the most unusual nature experiences on the planet, and one of the most unforgettable. The white-tailed mongoose is the largest of all mongooses, with a tail that can reach nearly 1.5 feet in length. Despite its size, it's incredibly agile, a skilled hunter that plays a key role in controlling insect and rodent populations across southern Africa. Don't let the fluffy tail fool you. Google hires goats to mow the lawns at its campuses. A herd grazes for several days alongside a shepherd and a herding dog, cutting grass without fuel, without noise, and leaving natural fertilizer behind. It's a curious collision of cutting-edge corporate culture and completely ancient agricultural logic, and it works perfectly. Peters's elephant shrew is a tiny African mammal with a long, flexible snout that looks almost exactly like a miniature elephant's trunk. It uses it to dig for insects and invertebrates in the soil. Despite its small size, it's one of the most distinctive and elusive creatures on the continent. That tiny trunk makes it genuinely unlike anything else in the animal kingdom. Pig Beach in the Bahamas is exactly what it sounds like. A deserted island where wild pigs swim in crystal-clear water and sunbathe on the sand next to tourists. No one knows for certain how they got there: shipwreck survivors, deliberate abandonment by sailors. The theories vary. The pigs don't seem to care. It's one of those places that sounds made up until you're actually standing there. Karl Lagerfeld left part of his fortune to his cat Choupette. He's not alone. There are pets around the world with million-dollar inheritances, private drivers, and personal chefs preparing their daily meals. It's an extreme expression of affection, and it proves that in some households, the cat really does run everything. A surfer named Dana McGregor teaches kids to ride waves with two trained goats that jump onto the board with them. The goats balance perfectly and cruise through the waves like seasoned pros. It's the kind of video you watch 3 times because you still can't believe what you're seeing. Adorable, improbable, and completely real. In Alien 3, the xenomorph wasn't CGI. It was a puppet operated by a team of people using wires and mechanical rigs. That handcrafted technique gave the creature organic, unsettling movement that computers at the time simply couldn't replicate. Decades later, it's still disturbing. Sometimes craftsmanship beats technology, full stop. Motoball is a real sport where players on motorcycles try to score goals using metal pushers mounted to their bikes on a full-sized football pitch. It requires extraordinary coordination between rider and machine at high speed. It's chaotic, loud, and completely insane to watch. It was born in France in 1930 and has since spread to Germany, the Netherlands, and Russia, which now dominates the sport entirely. At Glastonbury, Coldplay invited Michael J. Fox on stage. Fox, who has been living with Parkinson's disease for decades, played guitar live in front of thousands of people who gave him a standing ovation. It was one of those moments that reminds you what music is actually for. The elf owl is the smallest owl on Earth, just under 5 inches tall, and weighing exactly as much as a AA battery. It lives in desert regions of the southern United States and Mexico, nesting inside cacti and hollow trees. Despite its near impossible size, it's a silent, agile hunter of insects and small reptiles. Its name fits perfectly. A company called Pats created drones that fly exactly like bats to eliminate flying pests in crop fields without pesticides. They patrol at night, mimicking the movement of real bats, which are natural predators in the food chain. Equipped with sensors to detect targets and navigate without damaging plants. Robotic bats guarding our food supply. Cycleball is a sport where players on specially designed bicycles try to score goals by hitting the ball with their wheels, not their feet. The balance, precision, and coordination required are genuinely jaw-dropping to watch live. It originated in Germany and is still played across parts of Europe and Asia. It looks like a choreographed routine on wheels that defies every instinct about what a sport should be. Usain Bolt, the fastest human in history, ran in zero gravity inside a specially designed aircraft. Weightless, floating, his stride shortened to something completely ordinary like everyone else in the cabin, and he was still the fastest one there. Speed, it turns out, is written into his DNA at a level even physics can't fully erase. A man in Texas shot at an armadillo, and the bullet bounced off its shell and hit someone else nearby. The armadillo's armor is made of dense, bony plates that can deflect impacts at close range. No human-made material replicates it exactly. It was also, on every level, a reminder to leave wildlife alone. At the Dulle Griet bar in Ghent, Belgium, If you order their signature Max beer served in a 1-liter flute glass, you have to leave one of your shoes as a deposit. It gets hung in a basket from the ceiling. You only get it back when you return the empty glass. This completely absurd tradition became a beloved ritual that draws tourists and locals alike. Nobody hesitates. They just take off the shoe. Take a close look inside a cow's mouth, and you'll notice something missing. They have no upper front teeth. Instead, there's a hard dental pad that works with their back molars to grind grass. They pull it in with their tongue, press it against the pad, and chew slowly. It's a simple anatomical detail most people never know until someone points it out, and they can't stop thinking about it. The Atolla weevil-eye jellyfish lives more than 3,000 feet below the ocean's surface, in total darkness, and its internal channels light up like fireworks through bioluminescence. That glow is an adaptation for surviving one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Even in the deepest, most unreachable corners of the ocean, nature still finds a way to be beautiful. The sea slug, known as the leaf sheep, can photosynthesize. It eats algae, keeps their chloroplasts, and starts producing its own energy from sunlight like a plant. An animal that runs partly on solar power. It blurs the line between kingdoms in a way that makes traditional biology look almost too simple. Evolution in the ocean floor has no ceiling. Meerkats in southern Africa have built one of the most sophisticated security systems in the animal kingdom. While the group forages, one sentinel stands on a high rock and calls out specific alarm signals for different threats: eagles, snakes, ground predators. Each call means something different. Each one saves lives. It's teamwork at its most essential. In Knaresborough, England, since 1965, teams have been racing through the streets pushing wheeled beds while dressed in ridiculous costumes. Speed counts. So does the most absurd outfit. The result is part sport, part comedy, part collective madness. It exists because someone had a brilliantly stupid idea and ran with it literally. The crowd never stops laughing. When it rains over a bioluminescent sea, every single raindrop triggers a flash of light as it hits the water, each one stimulating the microorganisms below into a brief, brilliant glow. The ocean pulses and sparkles with every impact. For the people lucky enough to have witnessed it, it's one of the most surreal visuals nature has ever produced. Free of charge. A device now exists that pulls up to 2.5 gallons of clean drinking water directly out of the air each day using advanced condensation. It also purifies the surrounding air as it runs and adds essential minerals to the water it produces. It's a complete environmental solution, especially built for arid regions with no access to clean water sources. One machine. Multiple problems solved. The liftware level is a spoon that detects hand tremors and automatically adjusts its position so food doesn't fall off. Designed for people with Parkinson's or limited mobility, it gives them back the ability to eat independently. A simple fix for a daily challenge that affects millions of people. When technology serves human dignity, it can change everything. Darius is the world's largest rabbit, certified by Guinness World Records. He measures 4 feet 4 inches long and weighs over 48 pounds. He lives in the United States. His coat is soft and cream-colored. And despite his enormous size, he is completely calm and gentle, proof that the biggest ones aren't always the most intimidating. Johnny Cruz broke the world record by popping 200 balloons with a nail in just 9.72 seconds, beating the previous record of 11.83. Speed, precision, and an extraordinary amount of noise, all in under 10 seconds. It's the kind of record so absurd and so spectacular, you have to watch it twice. The Guinness Book has room for every form of human achievement, including the loudest ones. The grave of Dobby, the house elf in freshwater West Wales, is a real place fans travel to from all over the world. It's where the final scene featuring Dobby was filmed in the Deathly Hallows, and visitors leave stones, socks, and handwritten notes as tributes. A completely fictional character. A genuinely emotional pilgrimage. proof that a good story leaves marks on the real world long after the last page is turned. The Cecropia moth has a wingspan that can exceed 6 inches, with wings covered in hypnotic patterns. It hides in the forests of North America, and its adult life lasts only a few weeks before it disappears. That extreme brevity only deepens the fascination it holds for entomologists and nature lovers. A creature of pure, fleeting beauty, designed to stun the world for exactly as long as it exists. In Cambodia, an elephant named Chok walks on a prosthetic leg made from recycled tires after losing a limb to a poacher's trap. His story went viral and sparked global awareness about the damage illegal hunting does to the most vulnerable species. Chok became a symbol of resilience and a reminder that with the right care, even the most broken animal can find its footing again. The Karen Diner is a restaurant where the staff is intentionally rude. They yell, roll their eyes, and drip with sarcasm by design. The worse the service, the harder the customers laugh. The concept went viral, the business thrived, and it proved that completely flipping an expectation can become a successful business model as long as the execution never breaks character. Bob the alligator was born in South Carolina with no tail, defying every prediction about his chances of survival. He grew up, adapted completely, and became a symbol of resilience for everyone who heard his story. Nature finds a way. Strength isn't measured by what you're born with. It's measured by what you do with whatever you've got. A trained dolphin in a marine conservation program learned to collect plastic from the ocean in exchange for treats. It proves that animal intelligence can be a real tool in the fight against pollution when humans and animals actually work together toward the same goal. An orangutan named Rambo, living at a zoo in Dubai, learned to drive a golf cart. Not just press a button, actually steer it, turn corners, and navigate with skill that left experts genuinely impressed. Great apes continue to surprise us every time we give them the chance. In Vietnam, there's a dog that does the grocery shopping alone. His owner says he knows the exact route to the neighborhood store and never strays from it. The locals look forward to seeing him pass every single day. It's what happens when a dog gets the same routine long enough and takes full ownership of it. Iceland's black sand beaches aren't made by wind or time. They're made by violence. When volcanic lava hits the ocean, it cools instantly and shatters into dark, fine grains. The result is a landscape so dramatic it looks like another planet, and it's been forming for centuries, one eruption at a time. Nail houses in China are homes that refuse to be demolished. While entire city blocks get torn down around them for new development, their owners won't budge. Skyscrapers rise on all sides. The house stays. It's become a powerful symbol of property rights and of one person standing firm against an entire city's momentum. The bearded vulture eats almost exclusively bones. While every other scavenger fights over flesh, this bird waits, then swallows the skeleton. Its stomach acids are so concentrated they dissolve solid bone to extract every last nutrient. It cleans ecosystems in a way no other animal does. Bizarre diet, essential role. The painted spiny lobster is barely 1 to 2 inches long, with skin that shifts between vivid red and iridescent shimmer depending on the light. It's a favorite in reef aquariums because its presence is impossible to ignore despite its tiny size. In the wild, it lives between coral formations, a jewel, hiding in plain sight on the ocean floor. Ball's Pyramid rises out of the Pacific Ocean about 12 miles from Lord Howe Island in Australia. It's the tallest volcanic sea stack on Earth, nearly 1,845 feet straight up from the water. Almost perfectly vertical. No base, no gradual slope. Just a rock that shoots into the sky like nature was making a point. The Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link is the longest bridge in India, stretching 13 miles across the bay connecting Mumbai and Navi Mumbai. Before it opened, that crossing took hours. Now it takes minutes. It didn't just connect two cities, it changed how an entire region moves. Anna's hummingbird has feathers that don't just reflect light, they transform it. The color shifts depending on your angle of view, flashing from green to magenta to deep violet in a fraction of a second. It uses this during courtship and territorial disputes. In the hummingbird world, beauty isn't decoration, it's a weapon. In 1958, designer George Barris unveiled the Golden Sahara, a car with remote control, automatic braking, and transparent wheels made of a see-through material. It never got road approval, but it showed up at auto shows and stopped everyone cold. He was designing the future decades before the industry was ready for it. The deer of Nara, Japan, roam freely through the city's parks, eating from visitors' hands and wandering between temples. They've been doing it for so long that they're part of daily life there. They even bow to get snacks, living alongside wild deer in the middle of a modern city, and somehow it works perfectly. Geckos don't have eyelids. Their eyes are permanently covered by a transparent membrane that fuses over them like built-in goggles. To keep them clean, they lick them with their tongue. It looks unsettling the first time you see it, but for a nocturnal hunter that needs perfect vision, it's a completely flawless design. In a Roman-era cemetery in York, England, archaeologists found an 1,800-year-old gladiator skeleton with lion bite marks on the bones. It was the first physical evidence in history of a real human versus lion combat from the Roman era, not from a text or a mosaic, but from actual bone. And it wasn't found in Rome. It was found in a distant province. These spectacles reach far further than the Colosseum. Michel Lotito ate metal for a living. Over his lifetime, he consumed entire bicycles, television sets, aircraft parts, and a full Cessna dismantled and swallowed piece by piece. He earned a Guinness World Record and baffled the medical community. His stomach produced abnormally concentrated acids that dissolved metal without apparent consequence. He died of natural causes at 57. Around 30,000 websites get hacked every single day. Small blogs, major corporations, no one is fully immune. Phishing, code injections, stolen credentials, the methods vary, but the vulnerability is constant. Updating your systems, using strong passwords, and enabling two-factor authentication aren't just good habits. They're the difference between being protected and being next. Elite sport horses now get cryotherapy sessions 8 minutes at -220 degrees Fahrenheit. It reduces inflammation, relieves pain, and accelerates muscle recovery after competition. It's essentially a high-performance spa for animals, and it keeps them competing at peak level week after week throughout long seasons. The Scooter Champions Championship is a real racing series where riders hit over 60 miles per hour on electric scooters with aerodynamic frames and disc brakes. The circuits are closed, urban tracks. The riders are extreme athletes and former motorcycle racers. It's built around speed, sustainability, and the idea that micromobility is the future of transport, and it's growing every season. The world's largest paper airplane was launched from a helicopter in Arizona. It measured 45 feet long, weighed nearly 800 pounds, and hit 100 miles per hour before coming down. It was built from reinforced cardboard for an aerodynamics education project. It flew for only a few seconds, but it proved every principle it set out to demonstrate. Hawaii is the only place in the entire United States where coffee is commercially grown. The volcanic soil, tropical climate, and altitude of the Kona region create conditions that exist almost nowhere else. Kona coffee is known worldwide for its smooth, distinctive flavor. The supply is small, the price reflects it, and every cup of American-grown coffee in existence comes from this one corner of the Pacific. Red Bull runs a global paper airplane championship called Paper Wings, competing in 3 categories: distance, time aloft, and aerobatic design. One sheet of standard paper, no engines, no modifications. Some planes travel more than 200 feet or stay airborne for over 10 seconds. It takes serious aerodynamic knowledge to compete. Turns out, paper and a good fold can do more than you think. The first 3D printed building in the world was constructed in Dubai in the year 2016. A giant printer laid down layers of specialized material, like architectural ink, building the entire structure in just 17 days. It cut costs, slashed waste, and compressed a construction timeline that would normally take months. The technology has since expanded into emergency housing and social infrastructure worldwide. Prague's municipal library has a cylindrical tower made of over 8,000 stacked books. Standing inside and looking up, the shelves curve and recede into what appears to be infinite height, an optical illusion of knowledge without end. It's one of the most photographed spots in the city, and it makes a library feel like exactly what it should, something vast. In Japan, you can buy canned cake, soft sponge sealed inside a decorated tin that stays fresh for months without refrigeration. No preservative taste, no compromise in texture. They're popular as gifts and emergency snacks. It's Japanese food technology and packaging aesthetics fused into something that shouldn't work but absolutely does. The movie Titanic had a budget of $200 million more than the actual ship cost when adjusted for inflation, which came in at around $49 million. The gamble paid back spectacularly. Billions at the box office, 11 Academy Awards, and a permanent place in cinema history. Its scale and ambition have rarely been matched since. Some traffic lights in Germany let you play Pong while you wait to cross the street. Two people on opposite sides of the intersection face each other on touchscreens built into the signal. The goal is simple: keep people engaged with the light instead of their phones. It turns a safety problem into a social moment. Brilliant. The deepest diving pool on Earth is in the United Arab Emirates and drops nearly 200 feet straight down. Inside, caves, tunnels, a sunken city, and an underwater games room. Professional and recreational divers can explore freely in temperature-controlled, fully monitored water. It's an entirely human-built underwater world contained inside a single pool. Panasonic built a robot that washes your hair. Two mechanical arms with soft fingers map the shape of your head, then massage your scalp while applying shampoo and rinse at the right pressure and temperature. It was designed for people with limited mobility and hospital patients. The experience is fully automated. It's a reminder that robotics at its best solves the smallest, most human problems. Festo's bionic bee is a robotic insect that replicates the exact flight mechanics of a real bee using precision artificial wings. Multiple units can fly in autonomous swarms, coordinating through sensors and algorithms with no human input. Applications include assisted pollination in areas where bee populations are declining, and search operations in tight or dangerous spaces. Nature as blueprint, technology as solution. A beach in Brazil once had a giant Sprite bottle installed on it, and it worked. Cold water poured out like soda from a can, and thousands of people lined up to cool off under it during summer. It was a fully functional advertising installation that turned a product into a public service. People remember the experience. That's the point. The Duoyan bookstore sits on the 52nd floor of the Shanghai Tower, 784 feet above the street. Its curved shelves are designed to look like clouds, and its floor-to-ceiling windows flood the space with natural light and a panoramic view of the city below. It's one of the most visually striking bookstores in the world. Literature has never felt this elevated. The turtle robot tends your garden entirely on its own, powered by nothing but solar energy. It patrols daily, detects weeds with smart sensors, and eliminates them while leaving your actual plants untouched. No charging, no supervision, no effort from you. It's a Roomba for your garden, and it never calls in sick. From the air, the city of Centuripe in Sicily looks exactly like a human figure lying flat on its back. The streets, buildings, and hillside layout create a perfect silhouette from above. It dates back to Roman times, sits near Mount Etna, and attracts photographers and aerial geography enthusiasts from around the world. A city shaped like a person, and nobody planned it that way. Brazil's brachycephalous frogs are barely half an inch long. Their skin blazes in yellows, oranges, and sometimes fluorescent tones, a warning to predators that they're toxic. Despite being nearly invisible to the naked eye, they play a critical role in local ecosystems. Deforestation is pushing them toward extinction. Some of nature's most important creatures come in the smallest packages. Modern vending machines reject fake coins in under a second. Infrared light, magnets, and size calibrators analyze each coin's diameter, weight, and metal composition the instant it's inserted. If anything is off, it's out. Some machines even update via software to recognize new currency. All of that happens faster than it takes you to decide what you want to snack on. Rome has street art that nearly disappears into the city itself. Artists create works so perfectly integrated with their surroundings that most people walk right past them. Only those who stop and look carefully find them. It's art that teaches you how to see and rewards the people who actually bother to pay attention to the world around them. In China, 3D billboard technology has turned advertising into street theater. A giant panda appears to burst out of the side of a building, moving toward you with startling realism. It's a precisely engineered optical illusion using ultra-high-resolution LED screens. Nobody passes it without stopping. That's free entertainment with a logo attached. The glory is one of the rarest optical phenomena in nature. It happens when sunlight passes through a uniform layer of water droplets of nearly identical size, producing concentric rings of brilliant, shifting color in the sky. It's most visible from aircraft when the sun is directly behind you and the clouds are below. It looks supernatural, it's pure physics, and most people never see it once in their lives. In the 1980s, a group of kids playing in their backyard in Los Angeles dug up a Ferrari. Investigators discovered the owner had buried it deliberately to claim it as stolen on his insurance. He was arrested, the car was recovered, and the story became one of the strangest pieces of urban legend the city has ever produced because it actually happened. The Bitstorm simulator replicates a Category 2 hurricane inside an enclosed chamber, generating wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour. You walk in, you feel it. Used for entertainment, education, and professional training, it's one of the few ways to physically understand what a major storm feels like without any of the actual danger. Deadpool and Wolverine made $35.8 million on its opening night alone, making it the highest-grossing rated film in cinema history. The industry didn't see it coming at that scale. It proved that adult audiences will show up in massive numbers for a superhero film that doesn't play it safe as long as the product actually delivers. In Japan, restaurant windows display perfect replicas of every dish on the menu, handcrafted from plastic and wax, down to the exact color, texture, and portion size. The craft comes from the city of Guizhou, where artisans have been perfecting it for decades. It solves the language barrier completely, and it's become a cultural attraction in its own right. People travel just to watch the replicas being made. Danny McCaskill rode a unicycle down a steep hill and stayed on it. Riders and coaches called it impossible before he tried. He fell, he tried again, and then he landed it. The precision, strength, and sheer stubbornness it required redefined what people believed a single human being could do on one wheel. Boxen's volumetric display projects real 3D holograms that float in open air, no headset, no glasses, viewable from any angle. Users can see and interact with three-dimensional objects that appear to exist in physical space. Applications range from gaming to complex medical visualization. It's not a screen, it's not a projection, it's a step toward the way we've imagined the future for decades. On the island of Madeira, there's a waterfall that falls directly from a cliff onto a road and drivers pass straight through it. The Cascada dos Anjos sits on a coastal route surrounded by lush cliffs and crashing ocean views. Tourists come for the beauty, the drama, and the rare experience of driving through falling water. No photo does it justice, you have to feel it. A Witcher fan spent 8 years building a personal museum dedicated entirely to the franchise swords, figures, artifacts, and memorabilia carefully gathered and displayed for visitors to explore. Every piece represents years of dedication. It's proof that a deep enough passion doesn't stay private. Eventually, it builds something real. A bed designed for small apartments rises to the ceiling when you're done sleeping, giving the entire floor back to you for the rest of the day. No wasted space, no compromise. Just a room that transforms completely depending on what you need from it. Good design doesn't ask you to live smaller, it just makes every square foot work harder. China built a spherical patrol robot that moves on both land and water and goes from 0 to nearly 19 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds. It has 360-degree cameras, motion sensors, and fully autonomous navigation. Its round, reinforced shell lets it roll over obstacles, float, and stabilize on uneven terrain without any help. This is what smart urban surveillance looks like in the very near future. The Conrad Maldives Resort has an underwater suite more than 16 feet below the surface of the Indian Ocean. The walls are floor-to-ceiling glass. Fish and coral reefs surround you on all sides. It's not like staying near the ocean, it's like living inside it. The SK Will 1 electric ski hits up to 50 miles per hour, and it works on asphalt, gravel, sand, and snow. Not just a winter toy, a year-round speed machine that works on almost any terrain you point it at. Speed, mobility, and adventure in one device, no mountain required. A new automatic flossing device releases silver ion thread at the push of a button. Silver ions are antimicrobial. They eliminate up to 99.9% of bacteria in the mouth. Faster, more effective, and easier for people with limited hand mobility than traditional floss. Better oral health without the part everyone skips. The world's largest functional skateboard is nearly 36 feet long. Built by engineers and skate enthusiasts to break a Guinness World Record, it uses reinforced wood, giant wheels, and a real truck and flex system, just like a normal board. It takes multiple people to move it, but it works. The spirit of skate culture, taken to its absolute limit. The Magic Clip 2 surgical visor generates real-time three-dimensional maps of the brain during active surgery. Its integrated AI assists surgeons with critical decisions at the exact moment they need to make them. It reduces risk, improves precision, and raises the standard of care for complex neurological procedures. The operating room just got a significant upgrade. The Sulink gaming glasses track subtle head movements and translate them directly into in-game actions, no fingers required. Faster response time, less fatigue during long sessions. They're designed to fit any face with precision, and they allow full immersion without relying on traditional controls. Your body becomes the controller. The Studio Ghibli Museum in Tokyo has one of the strictest rules of any museum on Earth. Absolutely no photos or videos inside, ever. Hayao Miyazaki wants visitors to experience the magic with their own eyes, not through a screen. Ironically, the museum itself is the only one allowed to publish images of its own halls, and during the pandemic they uploaded full virtual tours to their YouTube channel so fans could explore without breaking the rule. A Boeing 747 pilot filmed an entire flight from Tokyo to San Francisco and compressed it into 83 seconds using over 340 time-lapse photos. In that minute-and-a-half of footage, you can watch the sun rise and set, aurora borealis brushing the wing, and the curvature of the Earth from 36,000 feet. It's one of the only ways to see a trans-Pacific flight exactly how the captain sees it. British inventor Colin Furze built a treadmill tilted at 45 degrees that's basically a reverse escalator. It forces you to constantly climb steps or fall off the back. It burns calories at a brutal rate, but Colin himself warns that one stumble means rolling several feet downhill. It's less gym equipment, more conceptual art that could kill you. An American company converted a full aircraft fuselage into the world's biggest barbecue grill. It stretches 40 feet long, stands 16 feet tall, and pumps out 500 burgers an hour across 6 independent grills. It's the perfect example of how serious barbecue culture is in the American South. If your grill isn't the size of a plane, you're not even trying. In northern Sweden, there's a hotel where every room hangs from the trees several stories off the ground, and each one was designed by a different architect. One looks like a UFO, another is a giant nest made of branches. Another is a mirrored cube that reflects the entire forest around it, making it nearly invisible. It's called Tree Hotel, and a single night there runs several $100s. A Belgian student named Ilhan Unal built the world's largest Game Boy, standing over 3 feet tall. And it's not just a prop, it uses a real original Game Boy as its brain, connected to a Raspberry Pi, with a working screen, a speaker, and giant buttons that actually run classic cartridges. He built it as his graduation project and walked away with a Guinness World Record. Inside the International Space Station, 3 cube-shaped robots float freely. Their names are Honey, Queen, and Bumble. They're called Astro Bees, designed by NASA to handle the boring jobs. Inventory checks, air readings, camera monitoring. They move on their own in zero gravity using small jets of air, freeing up astronauts to focus entirely on the science. They're basically the robotic interns of space. In a forest in southern Belgium, near the village of Châtillon, there was a graveyard of over 500 rusting cars abandoned in the middle of the woods for decades. The most popular legend says they belonged to American soldiers who couldn't ship them home after World War II. Most have since been removed due to contamination concerns, but the photos from the site's peak years remain some of the most viral urban exploration images in European history. The mother of Mara Wilson, the child star of Matilda, died of cancer before the film was ever released. She never got to see her daughter on screen. Danny DeVito, who was directing the film and playing Matilda's awful father, personally brought a private screening copy to the hospital so she could watch it before she passed. He and his wife, Rhea Perlman, also personally looked after Mara during the worst days of the hospital. At JFK Airport in New York, there's a room with an industrial shredding table dedicated entirely to destroying food. Every piece of fruit, every slice of cured meat, every chunk of cheese a passenger tries to smuggle in gets obliterated in seconds. This isn't bureaucratic paranoia. A single piece of fruit can carry invasive pests capable of wiping out entire crops, and the U.S. estimates potential losses of billions of dollars from every new invasive species that gets through. Engineers at Caltech created Leonardo, a bipedal robot that pulls off something seemingly impossible. It has human-style legs for walking and drone rotors mounted on its shoulders for flying. That combination lets it do absurd things like walk a tightrope, ride a skateboard, and leap up stairs while using its propellers to keep its balance. It's one of the first robots in history to genuinely blur the line between walking and flying in a single move. In 2023, an American named Zach Swope set the Guinness World Record for watching 77 movies in a movie theater back-to-back. To have each film count, he couldn't fall asleep, check his phone, or leave the seat for more than a few minutes. Any slip reset the count. The movie he watched most was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which he sat through 47 times. At that point, he basically had the script memorized. The Braille skateboarding crew built a skateboard made entirely of glass to test what happens when you push unusual materials to their limit. Everything held up at first, then it shattered on the very first trick. Nobody got hurt, proving that glass is absolutely not skateboard material, but perfectly capturing that spirit of pushing boundaries just to see what breaks. The dirtiest surface you touch without thinking isn't the public restroom, which gets cleaned daily. It's the restaurant menu, which passes through hundreds of unwashed hands every week and almost never gets sanitized. Close behind it is the handle of the grocery cart, coated in bacteria from hundreds of people. So next time you're ordering at a restaurant, think twice before you put your elbows on that menu. Magnetic levitation trains, or maglev, have zero-wheel contact with the track during travel. They hover on a magnetic cushion about 4 inches off the rail, eliminating all metal-on-metal friction entirely. That's how they reach 370 miles per hour, without the train heating up or vibrating, while actually consuming less energy than a conventional train. It's essentially flying at ground level. Avocados are evolutionary ghosts. This fruit evolved millions of years ago specifically so that megafauna, like 400-pound giant sloths, could swallow its massive pit whole and spread the seed. When those animals went extinct, the avocado had no one left to plant it and was headed for extinction itself. It was the first humans of the Americas who saved it by starting to cultivate it by hand. The Pygmalion effect is one of the most unsettling things psychology has ever demonstrated. If you lie to a teacher and tell them that a completely average student is secretly a genius with an extraordinarily high IQ, that student will get better grades by the end of the year. The teacher, completely subconsciously, pays closer attention, offers more encouragement, and explains things more clearly. The lie becomes a biological and academic reality. An owl's flight is 100% silent. Its feathers have microscopic serrated edges that act as a mechanical silencer, breaking up large air turbulence into tiny, completely inaudible currents. While a pigeon or an eagle makes noise flapping its wings, an owl can pass within an inch of your ear and you will hear absolutely nothing. That's how it can drop on a mouse in total darkness without the slightest warning. Most people assume the Bahamas are in the Caribbean, but technically they're not. All 700-plus islands sit physically in the Atlantic Ocean, and they weren't formed by volcanoes like Hawaii. The ground you'd walk on is pure limestone, made from trillions of calcified coral reefs and marine creature skeletons stacked up over thousands of years. Rabbits physically cannot vomit, and it's a matter of survival design. Their stomach muscles are so powerful, and the valve at the entrance so narrow that it's physically impossible for food to travel back upward. That's why it's critical they eat hay constantly to push everything through, because if something makes them sick, there is absolutely no way to get it out through the mouth. The Wright brothers didn't just fly once on December 17, 1903. They flew 4 times that day. Orville's first flight lasted only 12 seconds and covered 120 feet, which is shorter than the length of a modern Boeing 747. Most impressively, they built the engine themselves using aluminum because not a single automobile manufacturer was willing to risk making something that light. Frozen fruit is nutritionally better than the fresh fruit at the supermarket. Fresh fruit is picked completely unripe, so it survives weeks of trucks and warehouses, losing vitamins the whole way. Frozen fruit is harvested at peak ripeness and flash frozen within hours, locking in 100% of its original nutrients. It's one of the most widespread myths in the world of nutrition. The Roman aqueduct of Segovia has stood for 2,000 years through wars and earthquakes. And here's what makes it almost unbelievable. There is not a single gram of cement, mortar, or adhesive holding its 20,000 solid granite blocks together. Every stone was cut with such precise, millimeter-perfect craftsmanship that they're held in place purely by their own weight and the mathematical balance of gravity. It's one of the most remarkable feats of engineering in human history. The original gazpacho wasn't red. If you traveled back to Roman times or to Al-Andalus, Spain and ordered a gazpacho, they'd hand you a white soup. The original Andalusian gazpacho was made with only bread, garlic, olive oil, vinegar, and almonds. What we know today as ajo blanco. The Tasmanian devil has a contagious cancer that is unique in the entire animal kingdom. It spreads directly through bites to the face during fights over food. Cancerous cells implant themselves in the wound, and the tumor grows rapidly, deforming the jaw and making it harder and harder to eat. The disease has decimated entire populations and forced captive breeding programs to save the species. It's one of the only documented cases of cancer spreading like a virus. Hearing is the last sense you lose when you die. Studies using EEG scans on patients in their final moments found that even when a person is fully unconscious and unresponsive, the auditory cortex continues registering electrical activity. The brain is still hearing and processing the words of family members in the room, right up until the very last breath. That single finding should completely change how we think about being present with someone in their final hours. The Chicago River has been flowing backwards since the year 1900. That year, the city pulled off one of the greatest feats of engineering in history and permanently reversed the direction of its own river. Originally, it emptied into Lake Michigan, the same source as the city's drinking water, and it was filled with waste. Engineers built a system of locks and canals to redirect the flow toward the Mississippi River, saving the population from devastating epidemics. Spacesuits are white because white best reflects extreme solar radiation in space. But astronauts wear orange suits during launch and re-entry because orange is the color that stands out most clearly against the blue of the ocean or sky during a rescue operation after an emergency. The color isn't aesthetic. It's a life or death decision backed by precise scientific calculation. The first night effect explains why you sleep so badly in hotels. When you sleep somewhere unfamiliar, the left hemisphere of your brain stays in a higher state of alert than the right, as an ancient survival mechanism to react quickly to potential threats in an unknown environment. It's the exact same reason wild animals sleep with one eye open when they're in unfamiliar territory. The silkworm has been domesticated for so long that it has lost every single wild survival skill it ever had. It can no longer fly or camouflage itself, and its digestive system has become so specialized that it can only eat mulberry leaves. Give it any other leaf, and it will starve to death. If humans stopped raising silkworms today, the entire species would go extinct within months. They are completely incapable of surviving alone. The goblin shark lives in the deep ocean and has one of the most terrifying mouths on the planet. When it hunts, its jaws literally launch forward outside of its face at shocking speed to snatch prey like a mouth inside another mouth. They're incredibly rare to spot because they live hundreds of feet below the surface, which makes every sighting a scientific event. Elite athletes can develop hearts so efficient that they beat as slow as 30 or 40 times per minute at rest. The heart becomes so powerful it doesn't need to beat more often to move the same volume of blood as a normal heart at 70 beats per minute. In medicine, this is called athlete's bradycardia, and far from being a problem, it's the clearest possible sign that the heart has adapted to an extraordinary level of performance. Severe acne scars cannot be erased with a cream. When a deep cyst bursts under the skin, it destroys tissue, and the body rushes in collagen to close the hole. But it does a messy, disorganized job. That mark is rigid scar tissue pulling the skin inward. To actually remove it, dermatologists have to use lasers or microneedles to physically break apart that old collagen and force the skin to rebuild itself properly from scratch. Mandrills have pockets in their faces. Beyond their dramatic coloring, their cheeks hide a physical survival tool, enormous pouches, just like a hamster's. A dominant male can stuff enough food into his own face to fill an entire human stomach, allowing him to rapidly steal massive amounts of food in dangerous areas and sprint to a safe tree to swallow it all at his leisure. The planarian is a flatworm that is essentially immortal. Cut it into 10 pieces and each piece will regenerate a new head and a new tail, creating 10 separate worms. That ability has made planarians one of the most studied organisms in the world for research into the biochemical signals that switch on cellular regeneration, with the hope of one day applying those principles to human regenerative medicine. There were famous experiments in the 1960s claiming planarians could retain memory across regenerations, but those results remain controversial and have never been conclusively replicated. Palm trees are not actually trees, botanically speaking. They're more closely related to grass, corn, and rice than to a pine or an oak. They have no real wood and no growth rings. Their trunks are columns of fibrous tissue and vascular vessels, which is exactly why in a hurricane, a palm bends to almost horizontal without snapping, while a rigid hardwood tree under the same wind usually breaks clean in half. The physical limits of free diving are extraordinary. When a free diver descends past 330 feet, the pressure of the ocean should crush their lungs like a soda can. But the body has a hidden superpower. To prevent pulmonary collapse, it pulls plasma from the limbs and injects it directly into the lung cavity to fill the empty space. On the way back up, the blood returns to where it belongs as if nothing happened. The word tuk-tuk is not Indian or Thai. It doesn't mean anything in any local language. It's a pure street-born onomatopoeia because the first cheap models that arrived in Southeast Asia after World War II, most of them imported from Japan, had rough two-stroke engines that at idle made a loud rhythmic sound that literally went tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk. The name came straight from the machine itself. Ants build perfect paths using chemical mathematics. The first ant explores randomly until it finds food. Then on the way back to the nest, it leaves a trail of tiny, invisible pheromone droplets. The straighter and shorter the path, the faster the ants return, and the more pheromones pile up on that route. Automatically, the shortest path becomes the most chemically loaded, drawing the entire colony into a perfect line with zero instructions from any boss. A giraffe's blood pressure is twice that of a human, which it absolutely needs to pump blood up to its head. The fascinating part is that it has a built-in safety valve system in its jugular vein and a spongy network of blood vessels at the base of the brain that instantly slows the flow when it bends down to drink. Without it, the pressure surge from dropping its head would cause its brain to explode or knock it out on the spot. Scorpions glow neon blue-green in the dark under ultraviolet light. Scientists believe the scorpion's entire body functions as one giant light-detecting organ. By converting moonlight into that glow, the animal can read exactly how much light exists in its environment and decide whether it's safe to come out and hunt without being spotted by owls or other predators in return. Sourdough bread is literally alive. It's not a type of flour. It's an ecosystem, a symbiotic culture of bacteria, lactobacilli, and wild yeast that you have to feed regularly with flour and water or it dies. These bacteria pre-digest the carbohydrates and break down much of the gluten before the bread ever enters the oven, making it dramatically easier on your digestive system than industrial bread produced at high speed. The Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba has a fascinating structural secret. The Arabs who built it didn't start from scratch with their columns. They raided ancient Roman and Visigoth temples for them. Since every stolen column was a different height, the ceilings would have been completely uneven, so Islamic engineers invented that iconic double horseshoe arch system you see today. The lower arch rests on the columns, and the upper arch perfectly levels the roof, completely fooling the eye of every visitor who walks in. The click of a sperm whale is one of the most violent forces in nature. The sound this ocean giant produces to hunt squid reaches 230 decibels, far louder than a NASA rocket launch. Underwater, if a diver swims too close to a sperm whale when it clicks, the pure shockwave of that sound alone can paralyze them or rupture their internal organs through vibration. The Colosseum wasn't primarily destroyed by time or earthquakes. It was stripped apart by the people who lived next to it. After the fall of the empire, the city used it as a free quarry. Popes and noblemen tore out its marble slabs to build St. Peter's Basilica and their private palaces. Those thousands of dark holes you see in the walls today are the spots where citizens chiseled into the stone to steal the iron clamps holding the blocks together, to melt them down and forge weapons. The doner kebab as we know it, rotating meat in a pita with sauces that you eat at 2 in the morning, was actually invented in Europe. A man named Kadir Nurman created it in Berlin, Germany in 1972. Turks had been eating that style of roasted meat for centuries, but always served on a plate seated at a table. Kadir adapted the recipe by stuffing it into portable flatbread so German workers in a hurry could eat fast while walking down the street. Snakes can keep biting after they're dead. A severed snakehead can strike by reflex for up to an hour after death, because the fangs inject venom automatically when they detect heat or pressure, even with no brain activity. There are documented cases of people dying from touching the severed heads of venomous snakes that had been dead for 30 minutes. The nerves keep firing independently for a surprisingly long time. The coffee ring effect is pure fluid physics. When a drop of coffee dries on a table, the center stays clear but the edges form a hard, dark ring. It happens because the drop evaporates first from the edges, and the water in the center has to race outward to refill that gap, dragging all the coffee particles to the perimeter with it. Physicists published full research papers on this seemingly trivial phenomenon. Modern wooden skyscrapers are actually safer in fires than steel ones. Modern engineered timber is as strong as steel but far lighter, and buildings over 20 stories are now being built with it. Ironically, in a major fire, the outer layers of the wood char and create a thermal shield that keeps the structural core intact and stable, while steel beams warp and collapse all at once they hit a critical temperature. Blueberries don't have blue pigment, it's an optical illusion. Their skin contains anthocyanins, which are red and purple, but the blueberry's natural wax coating interacts with light, bouncing the blue spectrum back toward your eyes. Crush a blueberry and you'll find the inside is white or yellow-green, and the juice runs dark red. The blue you see is a structural color created by the physics of light, not actual pigmentation. The cornea is the only living tissue in the human body with no blood supply and no blood vessels, because if it had them, you wouldn't be able to see through it. It takes oxygen directly from outside air, dissolved in your tears. That's why sleeping with contact lenses in leaves you with red eyes in the morning. Your eye is growing emergency blood vessels to try to breathe because you've cut off its access to air. The Roman Forum, today the most protected ruin in the city, spent the entire Middle Ages as a cow pasture. It was completely abandoned and buried under yards of earth and silt from the Tiber River. Romans of that era called it Il Campo Vaccino, the cow field, and for centuries shepherds grazed their herds directly over the buried rooftops of the temples of the Roman Empire, with absolutely no idea what was beneath their feet. Banknotes are printed to such a precise weight that counting machines at central banks can detect if a single bill is missing from a stack of 1,000, purely by total weight, without counting them one by one. This level of precision saves countless hours of manual labor across global banking systems, and it's one of the most elegant and invisible security systems in existence. Elephants don't have baby teeth like humans. They get 6 complete sets of molars over their entire lifetime. These teeth shift forward like a conveyor belt, and when the final set wears out, the elephant can no longer chew hard food. In the wild, this is often a death sentence. Without the ability to process solid food, old elephants frequently starve once that last molar is finally gone. The Mona Lisa was completely unremarkable until someone stole it. Before 1911, almost no one paid it any special attention at the Louvre. That year, an Italian thief walked out with it hidden under his coat, and the global press went absolutely wild for 2 straight years. The museum reopened and thousands of people lined up just to stare at the empty space on the wall where the painting used to hang. By the time it was recovered, the Mona Lisa had become an unbeatable media icon. Swiss military air bases look like they were pulled straight from a James Bond villain's lair. Since the country is almost entirely mountains with no large flat plains, they carved their bases directly inside the Alps. You can be hiking along a mountain trail, and suddenly a fake rock wall swings open, and a fighter jet screams out toward a runway hidden in the valley below. The mountains themselves are hollow, nuclear bomb-proof hangars. Your car remote works better if you hold it under your chin or against your head. If you've parked in a massive lot and the signal isn't reaching your car, point the key toward your head and press the button. The range noticeably increases. It's not magic, and it has nothing to do with brain fluid. Your body, being mostly water and salts, acts as an antenna that conducts and rebroadcasts part of the radio frequency signal, expanding the effective transmission area. The bodies you see in Pompeii exhibits are not actual human remains. The real bodies decomposed under the volcanic ash centuries ago, leaving perfectly body-shaped air pockets in the hardened rock. Archaeologists found those voids, poured liquid plaster inside, and let it set. What you're looking at are exact plaster casts of the holes the bodies left behind, not the people themselves. The Arctic tern holds the record for the longest migration in the animal kingdom. It travels from the Arctic to Antarctica and back every single year, covering roughly 43,000 miles in total. Because of that route, it experiences 2 summers a year and sees more daylight than any other creature on Earth, living in a state of near-perpetual sunlight for its entire life. Planes don't dump toilet waste into the air. That's a myth. It gets stored in an onboard tank and pumped out on the ground after landing. However, sometimes tiny leaks occur, and at high altitude that waste freezes on contact with the air and falls as blue ice blocks, basically frozen disinfectant and waste. They've crashed through the roofs of homes on several occasions, leaving extremely confused homeowners. Florence Cathedral was built in the 1400s without a single scaffold touching the ground, because there were no trees tall enough in Italy to build one. Architect Brunelleschi invented a herringbone brick pattern that, as the dome curved inward, locked the bricks against each other mathematically. Silverback gorillas are extraordinary mediators and babysitters. Despite looking like 440-pound killing machines, the dominant male acts as the group's referee. When young ones fight too aggressively, this enormous gorilla calmly walks over and separates them with remarkable gentleness. Vicuña wool was considered the gold of the Incas, and under a microscope, it's pure natural engineering. Each fiber has microscopic interlocking scales that trap tiny pockets of static air inside, working exactly like the vacuum walls of a coffee thermos, insulating body heat from the brutal cold outside. That's how the animal survives freezing nights at 13,000 feet in the Andes, without breaking a sweat. The dead man's pedal is one of the most elegant safety systems in transportation. On almost every modern train and subway, the driver has to continuously press a pedal or hold a button every few seconds. If they have a heart attack, pass out, or fall asleep and release it, the train's computer automatically slams the emergency brakes to prevent a catastrophic derailment. The poison dart frog does the exact opposite of hiding. While most animals use color to blend in, the dart frog paints itself neon, blue, red, or yellow in what biologists call aposematism. It's a biological billboard screaming at every predator, "Look at me, I'm not hiding, because I'm loaded with lethal toxins and eating me will kill you." It's a deterrent strategy that eliminates fights before they even start. The great white shark cannot stop swimming, ever. Unlike other fish, it lacks the muscle that pumps water over its gills, so if it stopped for even a second, it would suffocate and sink to the ocean floor. It can never fully sleep and is believed to rest with its eyes open while still swimming at reduced speed to keep a constant flow of water moving through. The great cormorant sinks on purpose. Unlike almost every other water bird, whose feathers are oil-coated for buoyancy, the cormorant's feathers absorb water like a sponge. Soaking through completely, the bird loses all flotation and becomes a heavy stone that can dive to remarkable depths to catch fish. Italian pasta tastes better and holds sauce because of the mold it's pushed through. Cheap pasta is extruded through Teflon molds, leaving it smooth and glossy. Traditional Italian pasta is pushed through bronze molds, which tears the dough and leaves a rough, white, porous surface. That texture grips and absorbs tomato and oil like a sponge, while Teflon pasta just lets the sauce slide right off. Air conditioning was not invented to cool people down. In 1902, Willis Carrier was working at a printing plant in New York, where humid heat was warping paper and smearing ink. He invented the machine purely to pull moisture out of the air and save the printing process. The fact that it also cooled the air was a completely accidental side effect that would go on to reshape architecture and the daily lives of hundreds of millions of people. The stapedius is the smallest skeletal muscle in the human body, measuring barely a 1/16 of an inch. It sits in the middle ear and contracts instantly when it detects a loud sound, slowing the movement of the stapes bone to reduce the energy reaching the inner ear. It's a biological volume limiter that protects you from sudden noise-induced deafness, and it fires in fractions of a second before you're even consciously aware the sound happened. The liger, the cross between a male lion and a female tiger, is the largest cat alive, but it's born from a genetic glitch. In big cats, there's a gene that signals the body to stop growing. In lions, it comes from the mother. In tigers, it comes from the father. Cross a male lion with a female tiger, and neither parent contributes the stop growth gene. The liger never stops growing for its entire life, eventually reaching nearly 900 pounds, until its own heart can no longer handle the weight. The blue-ringed octopus may be the most dangerous animal in the ocean for its size. A specimen small enough to fit in your hand can kill 26 humans in minutes with its venom, tetrodotoxin, which is 100 times more lethal than cyanide. The most terrifying part, the bite is completely painless. The victim has no idea they've been attacked until the muscle paralysis sets in and they can no longer breathe. Planes take off into the wind on purpose, and here's why. A plane doesn't fly based on how fast its wheels roll down the runway. It flies based on how much air flows over its wings. If a plane needs 155 miles per hour of airflow to lift off, and there's a 30-mile-per-hour headwind, the wings feel those 30 miles per hour before the plane moves an inch. That allows takeoff on a much shorter runway, saving thousands of gallons of fuel every single flight. Stop signs are octagonal for a deeply practical reason. If a snowstorm is so heavy it completely buries the text and symbol on the sign, a driver can still recognize it from the shape alone, from behind or from the side, and know to stop. The shape wasn't chosen arbitrarily. It was specifically engineered to be identifiable even when it's impossible to read. The technology traveling through interstellar space right now is 50 years old. Voyager 1 is the most distant human-made object in the universe, sitting over 15 billion miles away. To store the data it sends back, it doesn't use hard drives or modern microchips. It uses a physical 8-track magnetic tape recorder that advances, rewinds, and plays back in the vacuum of deep space. 1970s technology, sailing through the cosmos. The Banaue rice terraces in the Philippines are one of the oldest and most monumental feats of human engineering on Earth. 2,000 years ago, local tribes hand-carved an entire mountain range in Ifugao into rice-growing terraces. The result looks like a massive green amphitheater carved into the sky. The terraces are so vast that if you laid all their retaining walls end to end, they would stretch halfway around the planet. The real danger of keeping your wallet in your back pocket isn't getting pickpocketed. It's what it does to your spine. If you drive or sit for hours with a thick wallet under one side of you, that small inch or so tilt throws your pelvis off balance, twists your spine, and over time compresses the sciatic nerve, causing chronic pain that radiates all the way down your leg. And yes, it also happens to be the easiest pocket to rob. The Blue Mosque in Istanbul hides a fascinating structural secret. Walk inside and look up, and the enormous central dome appears to simply float in midair. To carry the crushing weight of that stone mass without the building collapsing, the architects used 4 central columns so absurdly thick, at over 16 feet in diameter each, that the Turks officially nicknamed them the elephant legs. The weasel has one of the most frantic metabolisms in the animal kingdom. It needs to eat 1/3 of its own body weight every single day, or it starves to death, making it a relentless and extremely aggressive hunter. Weasels are capable of killing prey 10 times their size, like fully grown rabbits, by biting through the base of the skull to sever the spinal cord. An animal that fits in the palm of your hand, taking down a full-grown rabbit. The wood that burned in Notre Dame in 2019 was nearly 1,000 years old. The cathedral's roof structure was built from over 13,000 solid oak trees, and those trees had been felled in the 11th century when they were already 300 to 400 years old. That roof was carrying the literal DNA of trees that were already alive and growing during the Carolingian era, and it turned to ash in minutes in front of the entire world. The light switch you use every day works the way it does thanks to a hidden internal spring. The very first switches in history turned like a gas valve, but they created slow sparks that set wooden houses on fire. The toggle switch was invented with an internal mechanical spring that makes the metal contact snap shut instantly and violently, no matter how slowly you move your finger, eliminating the dangerous sparks entirely. Fainting goats are a breed that, when startled by a loud noise, don't run. Their muscles seize up in an instant, they go completely rigid, and they topple over sideways like statues, fully conscious the whole time. Old shepherds used them in a brutal way. They'd plant one fainting goat in a flock of valuable sheep. When a wolf attacked, the sheep would scatter and the goat would freeze solid, serving as an easy sacrifice to keep the wolf occupied and the flock safe. Milan's trams work so well that San Francisco basically stole the design. If you walk through Milan today, you'll see beautiful yellow wooden trams, the 1500 series, still running. These aren't tourist replicas, they're the originals. Built in 1928 with nearly a century of uninterrupted service. The design is such a masterpiece of indestructible engineering that when San Francisco wanted to restore its historic fleet, instead of building new ones, it bought dozens of these original Milan trams, which now run up and down the hills of California. The Wolverine is small but so outrageously aggressive it can drive off an entire wolf pack or even a bear from a kill. Its claws and teeth are built to crush frozen meat and bones like crackers, letting it survive in the Arctic by eating what larger predators leave behind because it's too hard or too frozen to bother with. Pound for pound, it's probably the most ferocious animal on Earth relative to its size. Rome has over 2,500 public drinking fountains called Nasoni that have run non-stop 24 hours a day for centuries. What almost nobody knows is that these fountains have no shutoff valve. The city's underground aqueduct network depends on constant flow. If they ever turn those taps off, the massive pressure of the stagnant water would blow apart the ancient pipes buried beneath the streets of Rome. The chamois jumps across near vertical ice cliffs without falling thanks to the unique design of its hooves. The outer rim is hard and sharp as steel to bite into ice, but the inner pad is soft and rubbery. On a smooth rock face, that pad creates a suction cup effect that literally glues the animal to the cliffside, defying gravity. Nature invented Velcro millions of years before the textile industry did. Howler monkeys are the loudest land animals on Earth, audible from 3 miles away. But a scientific study found a surprising evolutionary trade-off. The deeper and louder a male's howl, the smaller his reproductive anatomy. Evolution poured all available biological energy into the throat to intimidate rivals from a distance, leaving very little budget for anything else. Tetrachromacy is a color superpower that some people actually have. A normal human has 3 types of cone cells in the eyes and can see around 1 million colors. Some people, exclusively women due to a mutation on the X chromosome, have 4 types of cones. These individuals can distinguish up to 100 million colors, seeing entirely distinct shades in places where the rest of us see a single, uniform block of color. A plane with all engines dead does not fall like a rock. If every engine on a commercial aircraft cuts out at 33,000 feet, the aircraft becomes the world's heaviest glider. Planes are designed with a high glide ratio. For every mile they drop in altitude, they travel roughly 15 miles forward. That gives pilots nearly half an hour of silent flight to locate a runway and land safely. One of the least kept secrets of the Palace of Versailles is that it was a hygiene catastrophe. The Sun King, Louis XIV, built the most extravagant palace in the world, dripping in gold and mirrors, but with a critical flaw. Despite having some chamber pots and a handful of latrines, there were nowhere near enough for the thousands of courtiers living there. The aristocracy relieved themselves wherever they could, behind velvet curtains, on staircases, and in the corners of hallways. The palace reeked of a public latrine, which is precisely why the French court made strong floral perfume a cultural institution. The dragon blood tree of Socotra Island has an upside-down umbrella shape it uses to collect moisture from desert fog. When its trunk is cut, it bleeds a thick red resin known as dragon's blood. In ancient times, this resin was worth as much as gold because it was believed to have magical and medicinal properties, and it was traded across routes connecting Africa with the Arab world and the Mediterranean for centuries. The naked mole rat is the only known cold-blooded mammal, and on top of that, it's practically immune to cancer. Its cells have a built-in fail-safe that prevents them from piling up and forming tumors. And most extraordinarily, it can survive 18 minutes with zero oxygen by converting its body's sugar into fructose, essentially running on plant metabolism. Scientists have been studying its biology for decades, hoping to apply its secrets to human medicine. The red deer's roar during rutting season does far more than intimidate rivals. In autumn, forests fill with the guttural bellowing of male deer, and most people assume it's just posturing. The biology goes much deeper. The sound is so low frequency, powerful, and sustained that the acoustic vibrations physically stimulate the endocrine system of nearby females. It is literally the male's roar that triggers ovulation and brings females into reproductive readiness. Prague Castle holds the Guinness World Record as the largest ancient castle on Earth. It's not a fortress of four walls like most people picture. It's a staggering complex of over 750,000 square feet, containing its own full-size Gothic cathedral, multiple palaces, basilicas, gardens, and entire residential streets with people actually living in them. It is a fully functioning walled town inside the Czech capital. The blobfish is the victim of a massive injustice. It was voted the world's ugliest animal, but that famous image is a complete lie. This fish lives over 3,300 feet below the surface, where the pressure is crushing. When fishermen haul it up to the surface too fast, the brutal decompression causes its tissues to expand and rupture. It's not ugly. We're watching it melt in a completely alien environment. In its natural habitat, it's a perfectly normal, muscular fish. Kowloon Walled City was the most densely populated place in human history. In a space barely larger than a city block, 50,000 people lived in buildings packed so tightly that sunlight never reached the lower floors. It had no laws, was run by criminal triads, and ran on its own pirated water and electrical systems, until it was demolished in 1993 to build a public park. Electric cars are so silent they became a genuine danger to blind or distracted pedestrians. By law, they're now required to emit an artificial sound, a specially engineered futuristic hum, at low speeds to signal their presence. Sound designers spent years crafting those tones to be audible without being irritating, essentially composing the soundtrack of the cars of the future. Artificial intelligence was born in 1956, thanks to a summer bet. Scientist John McCarthy gathered a small group of researchers at Dartmouth University and convinced the government to fund them, claiming that if they worked together for 2 months over the summer, they'd be able to teach machines to use language and grasp concepts of human intelligence. They fell slightly short of that timeline, but they set something in motion that would change the world. The bristlecone pine trees of California are over 5,000 years old. They started growing before writing existed and have watched every single moment of recorded human history from their spot on the mountain. The oldest of all is named Methuselah, and its exact location is kept a closely guarded secret so no visitor can accidentally damage it. Train wheels are shaped like cones rather than straight cylinders, and that taper is what allows a train to navigate curves smoothly without any differential system. In a turn, the outer wheel automatically uses the wider part of the cone to cover more distance than the inner wheel, entirely on its own. It's an engineering solution from the 1800s that no modern technology has ever managed to improve on. The bar-headed goose can fly above Mount Everest at over 29,000 feet, where the air has so little oxygen that a human would be dead in minutes. These birds have a specialized form of hemoglobin that captures oxygen with extreme efficiency and capillaries in their muscles that don't freeze at -40 degrees Fahrenheit. They are among the most physiologically extreme animals on the planet. Natural vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world, behind only saffron. It comes from a very specific orchid that only opens its flowers for one single day a year. And across most of the world, including Madagascar where most vanilla is grown, every single vanilla pod has to be hand-pollinated, flower by a human using a small wooden needle. The American bison's hump is not a fat reserve like a camel's hump. That massive mound is solid muscle, anchored to elongated, upward-pointing vertebrae. Its only job is to act like a snowplow engine. The bison swings that enormous head from side to side like a pendulum to push through over 3 feet of hard-packed winter snow and uncover the grass buried underneath. Crocodiles swallow large rocks called gastroliths that stay permanently in their stomachs. This works exactly like a submarine's ballast. The added weight lets them sink effortlessly in water, leaving only their eyes and nostrils above the surface for a perfect ambush from below. The rocks also help mechanically grind food in the stomach, since crocodiles swallow their prey whole without chewing. Super tasters make up about 25% of the human population and have roughly twice as many taste buds as everyone else. For them, black coffee, grapefruit, or broccoli aren't just strongly flavored. They produce an almost chemically unbearable, painfully bitter sensation purely by anatomy. While other people love a black coffee, for a super taster, it's an experience closer to pain. In 1992 in Barcelona, Lithuania shined not only for its game, but also for its uniform sponsored by the band Grateful Dead. Psychedelic and full of vibe, they were pure rock on the court. Music and sports merged like never before. In 2002, the team Lemiren made history, but not by winning. They lost 149-0 by scoring every goal in their own net as a form of protest. It was so unusual that even Guinness World Records took note. The match looked like a comedy, but the message was very serious. When the scoreboard protests louder than banners, in Barbra Streisand's basement, you do not just find shelves, but a private mini shopping mall. Each collection of rare objects is organized like a luxury store, showing her love for curation. It is her secret sanctuary where chaos and order meet in a fascinating way. Friends and fans of the diva are left speechless when they discover this hidden world. The jellyfish Chirodectes maculatus is a true ocean gem. It was filmed on video for the first time near the Great Barrier Reef and looks like a floating basketball in the water. Its rare appearance made history in the marine world because it remains a mystery. With its peculiar look and strange movements, this jellyfish became one of the most fascinating creatures of the deep. In Budapest, Hungary, Europe's first movie theater with beds opened its doors, and movies have never been so comfortable. Located inside a shopping mall renovated after 10 years closed, this cinema offers bed-shaped seating with pillows to enjoy films in total relaxation. Forget uncomfortable seats, here the movie experience feels like a cinematic nap. In Yakutsk, the coldest city in the world, Oksana and Alexander are raising 22 children, 18 of them adopted, and they do it with a smile. With temperatures dropping to minus 85 degrees Fahrenheit, their home is a refuge of human warmth in the middle of ice. Despite brutal winters, they have created a united and resilient family, the largest in the city. In 2023, the mountains of Utah turned pink and red, and it was not because of magic paint. This phenomenon known as watermelon snow happens when Chlamydomonas nivalis algae multiply in cold snow, giving it vibrant colors like purple, orange, and pink. The secret lies in a red pigment called astaxanthin that protects the algae from the sun. Imagine walking through snowy landscapes that look like natural works of art. In Talca, Chile, nature decided to break the rules with an inverted waterfall. Here, instead of falling, the water rises thanks to powerful winds and currents from the Mole River. This phenomenon creates such an amazing illusion that it makes you doubt what you are seeing. It is as if gravity decided to take a break. Hercules, Amazon's robot, is an impressive machine that can lift more than 1,235 pounds with ease. Its main task is moving shelves in logistics centers, making the entire workflow much faster. With its incredible strength and design, It optimizes operations and speeds up order preparation. This robot is revolutionizing logistics. Underwater rugby? Yes, it exists. Underwater rugby is played in deep pools with a ball that sinks thanks to salt water inside it. Players equipped with fins, goggles, and snorkels fight to score in baskets placed on the bottom. It is like a tactical battle in slow motion without losing intensity. A sport as strange as it is exciting. The sand spider is like a desert ninja. It buries itself in seconds and disappears without a trace. This stealth specialist hides under the sand, patiently waiting for unsuspecting prey to pass by. Even predators fail to detect it in its perfect hiding spot. A true camouflage master worthy of a spy movie. A coffee that rains sugar? Yes, it exists, and it is served at Mellower Coffee, a Chinese chain that adds magic to every cup. Their signature drink, Sweet Little Rain, combines an Americano with a cloud of cotton candy that melts with the hot steam. It is like watching sweetness rain onto your coffee. This cafe not only serves coffee, female northern cardinals have a surprising trick to care for their eggs. They pluck feathers from their bellies. This incubation patch exposes the skin so heat reaches the eggs directly. It is like wrapping them with their own bodies to ensure each chick gets the perfect temperature. In Piedmont, among vineyards and dreamlike hills, grows a rarity that looks like it came from a fairy tale. A tree growing on top of another tree. The famous double tree of Casorzo shows a cherry tree living on top of a mulberry tree as if riding on its shoulders. No one knows exactly how it happened, but there they are, fused in a strange botanical harmony. In Honolulu, Hawaii lives Hokule, a surfing cat who has conquered the waves. Rescued from a shelter, this feline discovered a love for water and became a local star. He rides waves with his human family on a surfboard, proving that dogs are not the only ones who enjoy the sea. His swimming skills and relaxed attitude made him famous online. A cat so unique that he dares to surf with the wind under his paws. In the charming canals of Venice, a boat shaped like a violin glides through the water, creating a magical and unique atmosphere. This floating piece is almost 40 feet long and is known as the Violin of Noah. It was designed by sculptor Livio de Marchi. During its debut, it was escorted by gondolas and motorboats while a string quartet performed a serenade on board. David Scott, better known as the Kiffness, is a talented content creator from South Africa who has taken over social media by combining catchy music with humor and viral videos. Since his beginnings in 2011 with live performances, he has achieved a unique mix of musical genres and comedy that made him popular worldwide. In Mathura, Uttar Pradesh, India, you can find the first hospital for elephants built by the organization Wildlife SOS. This innovative hospital is designed to treat elephants rescued from abuse and exploitation. It includes a pathology lab, digital radiology, and even laser therapy. It also features a medical lift and open spaces where elephants can walk freely, ensuring their physical and emotional well-being. In 2017, Juan Pedro Franco, a Mexican man aged 33, was recognized worldwide as the most obese person on the planet, weighing an astonishing 1,311 pounds. His extreme obesity resulted from a combination of poor diet and thyroid issues. Throughout his fight to improve his health, his story captured global attention and highlighted the enormous challenges he faced. Daisuke Samejima, a talented Japanese artist, has created a unique style by painting everyday scenes on spheres called flatball. His acrylic technique turns these curved surfaces into vibrant canvases where every detail seems to come alive. What makes his work fascinating is how the spherical shape adds a visual dimension that makes scenes feel even more realistic. Just like humans, chimpanzees can burst into laughter, especially when they are tickled. This playful behavior highlights the surprising similarities between our species and these primates, showing that laughter is a shared trait. Umeno Sumiyama and Kumkodama, born on November 5th, 1913 on Shoto Island, Japan, hold the title of the world's oldest twins. Since their 70s, they joked about breaking the Guinness record, and at 107 years and 300 days, they achieved it. Despite living apart and facing bullying because of their resemblance, reuniting in their 70s allowed them to enjoy this achievement together. Imagine camping in a tent inspired by the famous Star Wars space station. Designed by Monster Factory, this futuristic tent fits 3 people and sets up in under 2 minutes. In addition to being waterproof, it features an air circulation system and a special layer that protects you from mosquitoes. The Zarpado Towers, located in Monterrey, Mexico, are the tallest skyscrapers in Latin America, reaching about 1,000 feet in height. They also rank number 26 among the tallest buildings in the world. These impressive structures stand out not only for their height, but also for their versatility, housing a luxury hotel, offices, apartments, and recreational areas. The Mini Dog Treat Maker is an innovative device created by the brand Dash, designed specifically to make homemade dog treats. Its appearance resembles a waffle maker with 2 non-stick plates that cook bone-shaped snacks. It also comes with a recipe book full of ideas for healthy and natural treats for your pet. The YouTuber Drones created a unique drone using Coca-Cola cans, combining 3-dimensional printed parts with cameras and motors. On his channel, he shows the entire construction process of this peculiar flying device, which despite its funny look can actually fly. This drone surprises not only for its appearance, but also for its ability to stay airborne for several minutes. A group of creators led by Hacksmith decided to take the myth of Thor to the extreme by building an impossible-to-lift hammer. They took a realistic replica and filled it with melted lead, reaching more than 110 pounds. They called it Mjolnir, but without spells, just brute force. Lifting it is almost as hard as being worthy of the god of thunder. A mesmerizing marble track broke a world record when a marble traveled 6,290 feet. The event took place in Elg, a small town in Switzerland, and was certified by Guinness World Records. The marble wound through houses, hills, and homemade structures for over a mile. A true spectacle of precision, patience, and gravity. In New Zealand, there is a farm where cows graze among giant sculptures. It is Gibbs Farm, an open-air art gallery created by businessman Alan Gibbs. 22 renowned artists left their mark on this surreal landscape. It is like a museum, but with sheep and ocean views. The hog-nosed snake does not bite. It pretends to die like a soap opera actress. When it feels threatened, it flips onto its back and plays dead with its tongue hanging out. Its upturned snout gives it a cute yet strange look. It lives in the Americas and Madagascar, and although it is a drama queen, its trick works. Antelope jackrabbits do not give up against cacti. They remove the spines to eat them. In the desert where water is scarce, they perfected this extreme survival trick. This way they get both food and hydration. Small, brave, and very clever. In Delhi, there is a bar where instead of drinks, they serve pure oxygen. It is called OxyPure and offers an aromatic experience with nasal tubes and essences like mint, lemon, or lavender. In just 15 minutes, you can feel refreshed as if you took a breath straight from the Himalayas. Founded by Arshavir and Margarita, this bar became a curious and healthy alternative to alcohol. Cheers with air. On the German island of Nordstrandismoor, residents do not use cars but individual trains. A railway about 2.2 miles long connects the island to the coast, and each resident has their own wagon. Although it started as transport for materials, it adapted for personal use. Wagons vary between open and closed, but sometimes the wind becomes an obstacle. That is how 18 people on an island move like true train drivers. In a corner of Sydney, 20 tiny acrobats surprised the world when they were born at Taronga Zoo. They are pygmy possums, marsupials no longer than 3.5 inches, that glide between branches like expert flyers. With feathered tails and skin that works like wings, they dominate the forest air. They live among leaves and heights, barely touching the ground. In the middle of the Saudi desert, a mirrored cube seems to vanish among the dunes. It is the Mariah Concert Hall. With almost 175,000 square feet of glass, it reflects the landscape like a modern mirage. It was built in just 3 months and hosts everything from concerts to luxury dinners. Deep in the Tadoba Safari, an Indian student named Oban Abhishek experienced a movie-like encounter with a rare black leopard for 40 minutes. This feline, dark as night, owes its rarity to a mutation rich in melanin. From Colombia, Oscar Mendez transforms discarded plastic into pieces that build futures. His interlocking blocks made from recycled waste become earthquake-resistant homes and classrooms. Each structure is a puzzle that also brings communities together. In Finland, facing the cold is an art called avanto. The tradition involves cutting a hole in frozen lake ice and plunging into the icy water, then seeking refuge in the heat of a sauna. This temperature shock revitalizes both body and mind, offering unmatched well-being. It has become a popular ritual known for renewing energy. Artist Jason DeCaires Taylor creates stunning underwater sculptures that serve as artificial reefs. His latest work, Ocean Atlas, is a sculpture weighing about 132,000 pounds that rises from the seafloor toward the surface. This impressive installation, located off the coast of the Bahamas, merges art and nature. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo lies the largest and oldest lava lake in the world, an incredible river of molten rock that fascinates scientists from across the planet. Located inside the Nyiragongo volcano, one of the most active and dangerous in Africa, this natural phenomenon is a true volcanic laboratory. The intensity and constant activity of the volcano turn it into an unpredictable and mesmerizing spectacle. The Cruffin is a delicious revolution that has taken over social media. It is a perfect mix between a croissant and a muffin. Imagine a crispy outer layer with a soft, fluffy interior that melts in your mouth. Its unique flavor has made it the new favorite of sweet lovers. This pastry gem can be found in bakeries around the world, showing what culinary creativity can achieve. Did you know that rapper Kanye West bought a real matte black armored tank just to drive around his ranch? The artist prefers this military transport system over any luxury car, using this metal relic to protect his privacy in real life. It might be the heaviest and wildest vehicle ever used for a simple grocery run in a biography full of excess. Discover Mariah Carey and her eccentric habit of sleeping with 20 real humidifiers surrounding her bed. She says she needs to live inside a cloud of steam to keep her vocal cords like a perfect relic, creating a jungle-like climate inside her bedroom. It is the secret behind her whistle voice, maintained by a constant humidity system that would cost a fortune for anyone else. Do you know Lost Sock Day, a real date dedicated to mourning that piece of clothing the washing machine swallowed without a trace? It is a moment to reflect on the mystery of the household system that separates fabric couples, turning an empty drawer into a relic of loneliness. It is the funniest form of mourning in real life for clothing that decided to run away. Did you know that boxer Floyd Mayweather only uses real underwear once and then throws it away? The athlete spends thousands of dollars a year on this hygiene relic, rejecting any washing system to wear brand new underwear every morning in real life. It is one of the strangest levels of wealth where fresh cotton is the only daily rule. Have you heard of Talk Like a Pirate Day, when the real world replaces hello with a loud air war? It is a real celebration meant for fun with eye patches and treasure maps, turning a boring afternoon into a nautical adventure relic. It is the official day to search for buried gold in your backyard and act like a true sea wolf. Discover Michael Phelps and his real physical advantage of having a very long torso and short legs that work like paddles. This body shape is a natural relic that lets him glide through real water with a propulsion system no one else can match. He looks like a swimmer designed by an engineer to break every stopwatch on the planet. Did you know that singer Adele has a real used piece of gum from Celine Dion framed like a priceless jewel? She got this relic from a mutual friend and now keeps it in her real home as a system of divine inspiration for her own songs. It is the stickiest and most amusing souvenir a star has ever collected. Discover why actor Tom Hanks owns a real collection of more than 250 antique typewriters from all over the world. He loves the sound of metal hitting paper and uses this relic from the past to send real letters to friends instead of emails. It is a classic writing system that keeps the magic of ink alive in the real world. Did you know that baseball star Shohei Ohtani travels with a real custom pillow that has its own suitcase so his sleep system is never disturbed? The athlete treats his rest like a golden relic, making sure his neck stays in perfect position to hit real home runs. He is a baseball giant who cannot live without his favorite sleep accessory. Discover Bill Murray and his real eccentricity of not having an agent, but instead a secret 1-800 phone number where people leave messages. If he likes the idea, he calls back. If not, your proposal remains a voice relic inside an endless mailbox. It is the most mysterious and entertaining hiring system in all of Hollywood. Discover Bicycle Day, which actually celebrates the first real LSD trip taken by scientist Albert Hofmann. While riding his bike home, his mental system experienced a relic of colors and visions that changed the real world of science forever. It is the most psychedelic and famous bike ride ever recorded. This is Johnny Depp and his real collection of animal skeletons and stuffed pigeons decorating his home. The artist finds beauty in these relics of death, surrounding himself with a dark decorative system that reflects his Gothic-filled career in the real world. It might be the strangest private museum you could ever visit inside a celebrity mansion. Did you know that swimmer Ian Thorpe has real size 17 feet that work like natural fins every time he enters the pool? This physical propulsion system is an anatomical relic that makes him unstoppable in real water, leaving rivals far behind. He is the athlete who was born wearing his own diving gear. Did you know that actor Nicolas Cage once bought a real octopus for $150,000 because he believed it would help his acting system? He claimed that watching its underwater movements was an inspirational relic for his gestures, creating a unique marine atmosphere in his real home. It is spending a fortune on an 8-armed teacher to become a better actor. Did you know that baseball pitcher Zach Greinke once stopped a real game to tell the opposing batter exactly which pitch he was about to throw? This system of brutal honesty shocked everyone, turning the at-bat into a relic of pure psychological duel in front of thousands of real people. He is the pitcher who trusts his arm so much he gives the enemy an advantage, just to see who truly wins. Discover Michael Phelps and his real diet of 12,000 calories a day, where he devoured massive amounts of pasta and pizza just to maintain his energy. His body system processed food like a steam engine, turning every bite into a power relic to win real gold medals. It is eating what 5 people eat together and still having abs of steel in the real pool. Did you know that singer Dolly Parton wrote her 2 biggest real hits, Jolene and I Will Always Love You, on the same afternoon of inspiration? It was an explosive creativity system that left behind a double musical relic, proving that real talent does not need weeks of work. It is the most profitable and emotional writing marathon ever seen in the real world. Did you know that Angelina Jolie used to gift her partners real vials with drops of her own blood as commitment amulets? It was an extreme love system meant to create a real physical bond, turning a small necklace into a Gothic passion relic that left the real world speechless. It is the most intense and red way of saying I love you forever. Meet Max Scherzer, the real baseball pitcher, who has 1 blue eye and 1 brown eye due to a unique genetic condition. This visual system gives him a fierce look on the mound, turning his face into a natural design relic that intimidates any batter in the real world. He is the only real player who can say he sees the game in 2 different colors. Did you know that Justin Bieber has such an intense real phobia of spiders that he cannot enter a room if he thinks one might be there? His team must check every corner to ensure a bug-free system, treating his safety like a high-maintenance relic in real life. He is the real idol who trembles before a creature that fits on a fingernail. Discover Shohei Ohtani and his real habit of never leaving home without his own high-quality recovery equipment to sleep 12 hours. The athlete believes deep sleep is the secret system that allows him to throw pitches at about 99 miles per hour, treating bedtime like an invisible training relic. He is the real champion, hitting home runs while others are still eating breakfast. Did you know that Eminem requires his hotel room to be in total real darkness with a white noise sound system in order to sleep? He cannot tolerate even a trace of external light, creating a void that becomes a visual silence relic so he can rest from a real life full of rhymes and stages. He is the real king of rap, searching for calm in the deepest shadow. Discover Lady Gaga and her real eccentricity of hiring a team of seamstresses to live with her during tours and fix any wardrobe disaster instantly. Her fashion system is so complex that every outfit is a design relic, needing constant care in the real world. It is having a personal haute couture workshop running 24 real hours just for her. Did you know that baseball player Ichiro Suzuki sent his real leather gloves every winter to a special factory for a luxury maintenance system? He treated his tool like a relic of his own body, making sure the material was always ready to catch any real ball. It is the highest level of care for the object that turned him into a batting samurai. Did you know that singer Katy Perry has the real eccentric habit of collecting locks of hair from other artists like Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus? She keeps these hair relics in her bag as a personal memory system, creating a biography of real encounters through small strands of color. It is the strangest and funniest habit a real pop star has ever confessed. Did you know that Angelina Jolie holds a real pilot license and prefers flying her own small private plane instead of traveling first class? The freedom system she feels in real air is her favorite escape relic, letting her see the real world from the clouds while controlling the aircraft herself. She is the real actress who masters the skies as powerfully as movie screens. Meet Randy Johnson, the real baseball pitcher who was so tall and threw so hard that he once accidentally disintegrated a bird mid-flight. His fastball system crossed paths with the unlucky animal during a real game, creating a shocking moment relic no one in the real world will ever forget. It is the most explosive accidental accuracy in sports history. Discover Pillow Fight Day, when thousands of real people gather in public squares to hit each other with feathers and cotton. It is a system of massive fun where every pillow strike becomes a relic of childhood joy, filling the real air with laughter and white clouds of stuffing. It is the only battle in the real world where the biggest risk is laughing too hard. Did you know that actor Bill Murray once walked into a real party of strangers, started washing everyone's dishes, and then left without saying a word? His surprise appearances are a real urban legend relic, proving he loves hacking real life with funny and humble gestures. He is the real star who prefers scrubbing pans over signing boring autographs. Meet Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the real world, who has a real phobia of snakes and cannot even look at pictures of them. Despite his incredible speed system that could outrun any real danger, he trembles at the sight of a reptile relic. Even lightning has its fears. Did you know that Justin Bieber once bought a real capuchin monkey named Mally and took it on tour but had to leave it at a German customs office? His exotic pet system caused a real problem, turning the small animal into a media controversy relic that traveled the real world. It is the cutest and most complicated whim a real teen idol has ever had. Did you know that actor Nicolas Cage owns a rare object straight out of a nightmare? A real shrunken head made by ancient tribes? He keeps this relic in his real home as a connection system to past rituals, claiming it gives him special energy for his wildest roles. It is owning the darkest souvenir imaginable as living room decor. When Neil Armstrong walked on the moon in 1969, The onboard computer of Apollo 11 had 1 million times less memory than the smartphone in your pocket. And yet that machine calculated space trajectories with breathtaking precision using those laughably limited resources, thanks to brilliant programming by its engineers and mathematicians like Margaret Hamilton. And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss the next one.